In this video, I want to talk to you about something called guided notes, which is something that I use in this class, and it's done, I guess, in place of slideshows. So it's primarily what you're going to be seeing throughout the year. And I want to tell you quickly what they are, why I use them, and then also how you can use them in particular. And I'm just going to make a quick note here because I realized I didn't write down one of the most important things that I want to remember to tell you, and that's how to do them on your own computer or device. So I'll just start off here. I'm going to show you what you'll probably see each week for a lesson or a lecture. So up at the top, you'll have this little place where you can click to access the guided notes for the lesson. And you'll see that I've chunked the lecture up, usually into 3, sometimes 4, sometimes 5 or 6, depending on the topic and how long I go on for, sections. So you can go through those sections. You know, this is from my summer course here. I was talking about the Charter, talked about the Bill of Rights, the Charter here, and the idea of equality as it plays out as a useful or not so useful concept when it comes to constitutional law. So it's been chunked like that. What I did in these videos is I went through what's called the guided notes. And I used to, and you'll always see up here what my goals are for you to get. I used to just do audio clips, and I provided these as notes that could be filled out as you went along. But I realized people actually really like visuals, and I really like visuals. I like being able to point to things. So the best way to think about these is that they're kind of like a slideshow, except you can write right on them and fill them out as you're going. And so this is actually kind of getting into why I use them. And it's that, particularly right now, everything is on a computer or everything is digitized. What I realized a few years ago, I think this is the first time I was teaching a class at Western, is I was using Prezi to do my presentations, my lectures, and a student said to me, could you please just use PowerPoint? I want to be able to cut and paste, each of your points into my notes and then like right below them. And, at first I was kind of taken aback because I loved like the visuals and everything I was doing. And then I realized actually the point of each of these points that I'm putting up here is for you just to get them into your notes and then to write something below them. And so I had this brainwave, why bother having these two separate things? I'm going to take you through this document and you can fill it out as you go along. And so, for example, if we were talking about the dry bones case, which we will be, or when I'm talking about the dry bones case, I might say, if I had a slideshow, it might say something like this. I would use that as my talking point, talk about it for a few minutes, it would come up on the screen, and you would probably be writing down details as I was talking about it. And what we're going to be doing this term is I'll have a little video if you want to be watching where I am. I'll highlight this, start talking about it. You can pop over to your own notes and put it down. You could cut and paste this if you want, but I'll show you other ways to do it in a moment. But that's the idea there. Or, if I was talking about the majority and the dissent in the dry bones case, if this were a slideshow, it might say that, Supreme Court majority, I would read this out and then say, all my other details below it, read this out and say my details below it. You probably want those headings and then the information below them as well. So the idea here is that what I'm using as the visual can also be a document that you fill out. And sometimes I'll be writing things on this as well. So I'm using videos this time around. I'm recording these. I might write in information below that you can then put down, but it's mostly to give you the structure of my lecture so that then you can be actually filling things out as I'm taking you through that. So why I use them, it's because I think it simplifies everything. You actually want the points from my slideshows, and when there were slideshows, you want that easily put in your notes, I think. And this is a way to do it. And you see the entire structure. And I'll say also, if you look through this before you listen to the lecture or watch the lecture, you will know the entire structure of the lecture before you've listened to it. So I follow it pretty closely. I lay out my own lecture notes in this way. So that's what you've got going for you. And then I'll just say here, in terms of how to use the guided notes, don't request editing access. So I know a whole bunch of people are going to try to request editing access. No, this document here is not meant to be editable by any of us. This is the template for the guided notes. What you're going to want to do is go over here to File if you want a copy for yourself, and you can click Make a Copy, and I think that'll save it in your own Google Drive if you use Google Docs in any particular way, or you want to download it. So you can download it as Microsoft Word. You could do plain text, I suppose. Probably Microsoft Word is going to be your best bet, but you're going to download your own copy to fill out, or make your own copy in Google Docs to fill out. Excuse me. So that's where you can get a copy of this, or you can be really old fashioned and print out a copy as well if you want to do something like that. Because how do I recommend doing this? So you can be watching me at the same time if you want. One way to do that and also fill out your notes is to have two tabs. You can move between the tabs if you're doing tabbed browsing. If you're lucky enough to have more than one screen, you can have me on one screen and have your notes on another screen and do it some way like that. Or you can do it where you print out the notes and have me on the screen and fill them out as you're going along, or something like that. And I'll just say also the last way that you might want to do that too is if you only have one screen, you have no way to get these things separate from each other, I would recommend watch the lectures, watch me go through this, and then afterwards look at the guided notes and see if you can fill them out, because that's a good skill testing way to see how much did you absorb from this particular lecture. So all of that to say, this is what guided notes are. They're like slideshows that have been made into notes. I take you through them. You can fill them out as we go along. I've told you why they're there. I think they simplify things really nicely. They're easily accessible, easily reproducible. And I've told you how, you can be using them as well. And that's to say there's ways to save or print your own copy of it and fill it out. Don't request editing access. That's not what